Hey, Nicole, it was very interesting reading your discussion posts. The one thing that stood out was the whole school counselor motif. I think it does provide different challenges between mental health counseling and school counseling. Um, at least from my standpoint as a mental health counselor, I'm used to going into community-based situations, right? My whole job and profession requires me to be constantly in the community as a liaison or as an advocate, and I'm dealing with different types of populations. Whereas in school counseling, you're just dealing with the students, right? You're dealing with the students, and you're dealing with the immediate families of those said students. So I'm kind of curious to know. As a school counselor, when you're seeing something like a massive crisis and you're jumping in, are you looking for the opportunities to target the kids that you know? So, like, for example, if there was a flood or something in eastern North Carolina. There's just a massive flood. It dealt with a whole bunch of people. Are you then looking at, okay, my first immediate concern is for the students and their families, and then a lot of the interventions that you put in place is going to be for that? Or is it kind of like a collective? So I know with mental health counseling, the Red Cross, I'm signed up with the Red Cross, that I get alerts for whenever they need counselors, whenever a disaster or anything like that occurs. So then I go off and then go into whatever setup, and I'm doing crisis counseling, I'm doing um, deep sessions and things like that. So I'm kind of curious: is it the same way for school counselors, or is your primary focus going to be the students and the students' families? And I can see that. My thinking is your primary focus would be the students and the students' family, because those are the ones that you have the most amount of contact with and you've built the largest amount of rapport with. So it wouldn't make any sense to take yourself out of that and then go into another population, but to actually work within the population that you're familiar with. So, what are some of the struggles that you see? I know working with families myself, it's kind of hard within a session to really instill things with the child or the adolescent, and then have the family not be on board, right? So, in you as a school counselor, are you seeing some of the same things where if the child is dealing with depression, but culturally the family doesn't believe depression exists, or culturally the way that they deal with pent up emotions is vastly different from what clinically would be the best way to handle those emotions? So I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on all that. And yeah, overall, I really enjoyed reading your post.